Christians are one of the most persecuted groups in the world today, with millions facing discrimination, violence, and marginalization in various societies. This phenomenon is not limited to any particular region or country, but is a global issue that affects Christians from diverse backgrounds and denominations. There are several reasons why Christians are persecuted in society today, and understanding these factors is crucial to addressing this complex issue. One of the primary reasons for Christian persecution is the growing intolerance towards Christianity in many parts of the world. In some countries, Christianity is seen as a Western influence, and its adherents are viewed with suspicion and hostility. This is particularly true in regions where Islamic extremism is prevalent, and Christians are often targeted as a symbol of Western values and culture. For instance, in countries like Iran, Afghanistan, and Pakistan, Christians are frequently subjected to harassment, imprisonment, and even death for their faith. The rise of radical Islam has created a climate of fear and intimidation, where Christians are forced to practice their faith in secret or risk facing severe consequences. Another reason for Christian persecution is the increasing secularization of society. In many Western countries, Christianity is no longer the dominant faith, and its influence is waning. This has led to a growing hostility towards Christianity, with many viewing it as outdated, intolerant, and oppressive. Christians who hold traditional views on issues like same-sex marriage, abortion, and religious freedom are often ridiculed, marginalized, and excluded from public discourse. The media and popular culture frequently portray Christians in a negative light, perpetuating stereotypes and reinforcing anti-Christian biases. This can create a toxic environment where Christians feel pressure to hide their faith or face social ostracism. The role of governments and institutions in perpetuating Christian persecution cannot be overstated. In some countries, governments have implemented laws and policies that restrict Christian worship, education, and evangelism. For example, in China, the Communist Party has launched a crackdown on Christianity, demolishing churches, arresting pastors, and forcing believers to worship in secret. Similarly, in India, Hindu nationalist groups have attacked Christian communities, destroying churches and intimidating believers. These incidents demonstrate how governments and institutions can perpetuate Christian persecution, often with impunity. The digital age has also created new challenges for Christians, who are increasingly vulnerable to online harassment and persecution. Social media platforms have become a breeding ground for anti-Christian hate speech, with many Christians facing online abuse, trolling, and bullying. This can be particularly damaging for Christian minorities, who may already feel isolated and vulnerable in their communities. The anonymity of the internet can also embolden perpetrators, who may feel free to express anti-Christian sentiments without fear of consequences. Despite these challenges, it is essential to recognize that Christian persecution is not a new phenomenon. Throughout history, Christians have faced persecution, from the Roman Empire to the Soviet Union. However, the scale and complexity of modern-day persecution are unprecedented, with millions of Christians affected worldwide. The international community must take urgent action to address this issue, by promoting religious freedom, protecting Christian minorities, and holding perpetrators accountable. In conclusion, Christian persecution is a complex and multifaceted issue, driven by a range of factors, including intolerance, secularization, government persecution, and online harassment. To address this issue, it is essential to promote greater understanding, empathy, and respect for Christian minorities. Governments, institutions, and civil society must work together to create a more inclusive and tolerant environment, where Christians can practice their faith without fear of persecution or reprisal. By doing so, we can help to build a more just and equitable world, where all people can enjoy freedom of religion and freedom of conscience. Ultimately, this requires a commitment to human rights, human dignity, and the fundamental principles of justice and compassion.